So this is the Osmo Nano, the first action camera in years that I decided to buy with my own money, to put myself in your shoes. I think that's a pretty fair game to let you know how I feel about a product that I spent just as much on as you. But the biggest question is whether or not the companies can handle the harsh criticism from their own people. Over many years, I've been working with DJI on cameras like the Action 3, the Action 4, Action 5, Pocket 3, Osmo 360, and probably all their drones in the past few years. So what happens now? On Friday 26th of October, I received my Osmo Nano 128GB and I was super excited about this camera. Finally, a new updated Action 2 with the better components, a flawless firmware, and of course the ease of use. So once I got the camera, I first updated to the latest firmware, I charged the camera and the screen module to 100% before cooling both down. Then I started my basic testing here in the studio with a few overheating tests, where each attempt I recharged the camera and cooled it off for a few hours before doing the next test. And if you've seen my heating test of this camera, you already know that this performed worse than all cameras I've ever used basically, even worse than GoPro. The longest record was about 30-ish minutes, which was 1.5 hours less than the Go 3S, for example. Really bad. A week later, we had a new firmware update saying it should fix the overheating issue with improved heat management. In my case, it got slightly better with only 2 to 3 minutes improvements with and without the screen module, but the improvement was so small that I wouldn't call it a fix. Even after the latest firmware, I've seen so many people complain in the comments and so many people returning it, saying it was a rushed product that shouldn't be released yet, and that it was just a money grab from DJI. But because I'm quite the fan actually of my Action 4, the Mini 4 Pro, and my Air 3S, I really wanted to give the Nano another week before deciding whether I should keep it or return it. The Nano itself, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic camera in terms of image quality in D-Log-M. The normal color profile does not look great, only when it's cloudy or partially sunny, which takes away the whole point of owning a camera like this in my opinion. I honestly doubt that this is 10 bits because it looks awful in the normal 10-bit color profile compared to other cameras I've compared it to, even at the highest bitrate. I'm not here to flame DJI, but the Osmo 360 was a rushed product, missing all the essential things on launch, which has been gradually improved over time. The Mini 5 Pro was launched with non-working LiDAR sensors, according to many people who really put this to the test, and the Nano could keep you warm throughout the coldest winters. So this is not my experience, this is just from what I've seen online. One thing I was really excited about was the low light quality. So we have the Action 5 Pro, which has decent low light, the Ace Pro 2, which is still the king of low light in my opinion, but the Action 5 is doing a great job, and the footage is actually usable in low light. So I was really excited to have the same low light capabilities in the Osmo Nano, which made traveling a bit more subtle and convenient because I could just put this on my kids and have them run around all day, all night. I mean, that's why you might want to get a camera like this to capture family trips, vacations, and so on. If you're going to capture more professional style of videos, you know, you buy a better and bigger camera. But I mean, the low light quality or the low light image is really good. I was actually impressed, but compared to the Go Ultra, it produces too much grain in my opinion, and it doesn't look as good. That's just my personal opinion. And even though most people might not use a camera like this in low lights, and neither would I, maybe for a few seconds here and there, and for that I think the Nano is more than decent enough. I think for me the biggest problem with the Nano is that it was a rushed product. I think it was a rushed product and it wasn't working properly from the beginning and has to be gradually improved over time to maybe become a great camera. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this as well. Do you have a working Nano? Is it faulty like mine was? Maybe I got a bad product, maybe this is just how it is, I don't know. If it happens that mine was faulty, I do dare DJI to send me a new one to prove me wrong, because this is a camera I really wanted to use, but because of the issues that I've experienced now over 2.5 weeks, there's no reason for me to put any money into it. So let's say I plan a trip around a new camera. I get the camera, I capture my videos, and during the time of capturing those videos, I experience all these issues. That will be a problem, and it will cause more frustration than actual joy. So DJI really need to pull things together and do some quality checks before releasing products in the future. Just my opinion, and I think a lot of you agree with me on this one. However, in a few months, it's probably going to be a great camera, but it shouldn't take months. That's the problem. It should be top quality, top tier quality when you buy it from the shelf on day one. You wouldn't buy a car with 3 wheels and the dealer says, well, you know, it will be improved over time. It doesn't work like that. Once a product hits the stores, it should be at the level where you don't have to update the camera for at least a few months. And this is how it used to be with DJI. My Action 4, for example, I don't think I've ever updated that after the release firmware, and this looks absolutely stunning to this day, but sadly, this is not the way it works anymore. Now it's like push the product, spend a lot of money on advertisement, update later. That's what I feel. So basically, all this adds up to my reasons of actually returning the Nano. I simply don't know when this camera will work properly for my needs, and because I bought it with my own money and I have other cameras, there is no reason for me to pretend that I like it just to satisfy DJI. If there's one camera I would actually recommend you to buy though, instead of this one, it's gotta be the Go Ultra or even the Go 3S if you don't want that crisp 4K image quality. The Go 3S is fantastic. But you also have the Ace Pro 2, which is slightly better but also bigger, and you also have the most robust camera I've ever owned, the Action 4. Those are the most consistent cameras in my opinion, or the X5 if you really want to step it up and be more creative. So yeah, that's basically the reasons. I really wanted to like the Osmo Nano, but I think this, just like the Osmo 360, was a rushed, unfinished product that should be delayed. But please, prove me wrong, DJI. Send me another Nano and I'll do a thorough test again to see if it, lives up to my expectations. The first one I had did not, so it's returned. But yeah, what's your thoughts on this? Do you have the Nano? Are you planning on buying the Nano in the future, or have you already returned it if you bought it on a release day? Let me know in the comments below.